Hello, 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 welcome. Happy Wednesday. I'm not doing a face video today. I am battling a cold. Finally, all my travels caught up to me. I just got back from Montreal on, I don't even know what day, Monday. And yeah, was totally out yesterday and a little better today, but still hopped up on Tylenol and Advil. So hopefully this makes sense and I'm not totally out there and wonky, but if I am, that's why. I have more fun with embossing for you today. I know I did some embossing not too long ago. This just is one step more on ways you can use your embossing folders. So it's nice to use, not just have one way to use the things that you have. You can make them look a lot different and use them in different ways. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the comments here. This episode really doesn't require a lot of supplies, but you can get some really nice cards. So I want to show you that, you know, a lot of times I use a lot of supplies and a lot of the bundles and sweets and whatever. So this kind of shows you how you can have very little and still do a lot. So the first one I have, as you may know, we have our exclusive online products. And one of those is the Basics 3D embossing folders. And it has kind of this star pattern and then a crisscross and then polka dots. I really like the polka dots. So I'm going to pull that out first. And all I'm going to do is I have my embossing folder and a paper. And then I'm going to take, so a lot of times it's recommended to wet your paper before you run it through, especially the 3D embossing folders. It just takes it better without tearing. I saw someone recommend using baby wipes because it just kind of wets your paper enough, but not too much. You can see it's curling, so it's damp. Oh my goodness, my voice is getting worse as the day. My voice was fine this morning. Not sure what's happening. Okay, and I've got my cut and emboss machine. I've got my #1 plate, if you can see that. Oh, maybe I need to zoom out a bit here. Hang on. Okay, let's see if that helps. There we go. Okay, so we have our #1 embossing plate. We have our embossing folder, always with the fold going through so you don't break that. Looks like I have color. Hang on. Let me just wipe this. I should have washed it, but maybe it's on the outside. Hopefully it's on the outside. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like it has yellow. Anyways. Oh well. You can always rinse them in water, which would help clean them. And you just run it through. Oopsie. Move that aside. And then we have our dimples. Then, because these, I don't have brushes big enough that won't go in between, so I decided to use my, this is a very old Stampin' Up! Product. You can purchase them anywhere though. They don't, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them anymore. This is a brayer, and I'm just gonna take Polished Pink and Coastal Cabana, and I'm gonna run it over. And because this is solid, it won't go in the cracks. But you don't want to like push super hard because you don't want to get it, you don't want to push your bumps down. You can always run it through again if you find it doesn't look bumpy enough. Now it's not getting the whole dot, but that's okay. You could color it if you really wanted to get picky. It just depends on the look you're going for. This is just a, I mean, obviously if you don't have polka dots, you could do this on anything. Okay, so I'm wiping off my blue. It's probably easier to rinse it under a sink, but you know, television and sinks don't go together, at least not home. We're not in a studio here, you know. So we've got a bit of purple where the pink overlaps with the blue. And then we've got some nice colored polka dots. Now, you could, if you don't want to do it this way, you can get the same effect and move the brayer by ink. So you can ink up this side, in which case the insides would be colored and the dots would be white still. Or you can ink up this side on the dots, but the only thing you have to remember is that it'll be the negative, like they will be indented dots instead of raised dots. So let me just show you what that looks like, and then you can decide for yourself which one is the way you prefer. Okay. Oh, see, and it's not as accurate. I must have pushed too hard. So you have to be careful. I could have actually wiped it before I ran it through, just, but yeah, so obviously I pushed too hard and I got some around. So if you want to really have a white background, the brayer works better, but this can be done as well. So that's just a little aside there. So then once I had this is just a nice background you can do anything with. So like I said, I'm not using very many products, and I'm not going to show you the whole cards. Just a quick, the embossing part is the important part. So I just simply stamped a Big Hooray. That's from the Big Hooray stamp set, which is in the annual catalog. I cut out the little pinata donkey from the Taco Fiesta and added him. So all you need is, you know, even a birthday hat, whatever you have. And then it makes for a nice colorful background. So it's just different than having your white dots. Okay, so that is the first one. The second one is with the crisscross. My envelope's a bit wet from cleaning it. So this one I'm gonna do like I just showed you. Oh, I should put it first. Not enough room to have that up here. Okay, I'm going to ink the top side this time. So last time I inked the bottom. This time I'm inking the top, and I'm inking it with my lighter of the two colors that I'm using. I'm just going to come in, get it really well inked. paper down. Okay, close this, move this, bring this up, and our plate. Oh, I guess this should be, there you can see. So there's the purple that was on the folder with our paper, and we're just gonna run it through. I forgot to say, if you're watching, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I love it when I have extra people watching, not just crafting on my own, but that's okay. Okay, so then I'm gonna open it, and then you can see the background is purple. And I don't know if you can tell, but the hatches, the crisscrosses are raised and they are still white. So then, if you have kind of a flat blending brush, you could use that. You can use a sponge brayer. I'm just gonna go direct stamp pad to paper, and I'm just gonna drag it across. And then my dark purple is going, oops, where the white was, and the light purple stays below. So just really lightly, you don't want to push down, because then you can see I went a little heavy-handed there and it goes down, but that's okay. It really accentuates those hatches. And then once again, all I did was I took this Kind and Sincere stamp set, which is in our mini catalog. I took the congratulations, I stamped it with Versamark and added the silver embossing powder. And then I added the paper, which is also in the mini catalog. It is called Animal, like an animal designer series, specialty designer series paper. There's gold and there's silver in it. It's pretty. So you can see like a couple pieces of paper and a sentiment, and I used my dies here, but you could cut it just as a rectangle and you get quite the nice card. Now for our final card, that's always the wow card, the one with the wow factor. I am using the, what's it called? Citrus, excuse me. What's it called? I'm losing my mind. Sweet citrus, that's what I'm looking for. So I've cut, this is our masking paper. I've pre-cut with the die, the masking paper. This is a hybrid embossing folder. So the die and the embossing folder fit together, and I have a piece of white. So to start, I am simply going to go like this, and I'm guessing I can't line it up because it's too long. That's okay. We will just kind of center it on here. You know what, maybe I will cut it because it's easier. Okay, because we want this. And then, okay, so to use the masking paper, I have mentioned it before, you want to make sure that you unstick the masking paper. So, oh my goodness, it looks like I've gotten ink on my shirt. Okay, so unfortunately this shirt isn't super lint dainty, but we can get it a little bit less sticky because it's so sticky it'll end up tearing your paper if you don't start by sticking it on your shirt, or if you have a cloth or a sweater, something to stick it to. Okay, so then I'm going to line it up here like so. It is still quite sticky, as you can tell from my fingers. And then we will go like that, which is about close enough. Okay. And then I'm just going to lightly put it down around there where I'm going to do the blending. And then I've got my blending brushes and some colors. So I'm going to start with Daffodil Delight. And I want the darker Daffodil Delight to be kind of on the outside, but I don't care if it goes everywhere because I know I'm going to come over it with darker colors. So it's okay if it goes in the whole circle. You can use the smaller brushes as well if you want more control. This one's going to be more all over because it's the outside. Okay, so we've got that one. Now we'll take the Flirty Flamingo. And this one we want kind of pinker in the center and then going out. And don't forget when you're using your blending brushes that you kind of want to go over it, like go over it again with the yellow, go over it again with the colors, because you want them to blend, which is the whole idea of the blending brush. So I'm going to come back in with my Daffodil Delight. Okay, I think that's good. Then I'm going to gently pull the paper off if I can, without tearing it. So if you go slow, I tried not to stick the rest of it down too solidly. The only saving grace I have is ripping there, but I don't care because I'm going to end up cutting this out. So as long as my citrus areas are good, it's not the end of the world if it tears. So, okay, if you are better at linting it up, it is, you could use it multiple times. It does better less sticky than sticky. All right, so then we have our embossing folder and our dies. So I'm going to stick my die in here along with my embossing folder. And then I've got, well, look at that, really perfection off the start. Okay, so we're pretty good. And I'm just gonna hold that together while I get the machine. And this one, because it's the embossing folder, you're not using the cutting plates. You're using, because it just cuts within the folder, you're just using your 3D sandwich, and then you just run it through. And I didn't wet the back, which I probably should have, because this one actually has some quite deep grooves, but you know, my brain's not working so well today, so we get what we get. And we've got some nicely cut citrus. You could leave it whole if you didn't want to cut it out as well. Then I just thought it still looks a little bit flat to me. I wanted to accentuate the citrus pieces popping up. So then I took some Melon Mambo, and this is where using the smaller brush might be better. Let's see. Let's see if that works better. Oh yeah. So then we can really get it on top there, and then the citrus really pops. Like that. There. Now you've got it. So I've managed to have multicolored citrus pieces without using the stamp set. So if you only had dies and you still want to make them look like they're stamped or they're fancier, that is the way to do it. Then I die cut the white piece with the Stitch Greenery die, which is in the annual catalog. And I had my 3 pieces of citrus. There are leaves. I stamped them because I'm lazy, but you could just, with the die, because the die comes with the citrus piece and it comes with 2 sets of leaves and then the flowers. So you could just cut out the leaves and color them if you don't have the stamp. I don't see the stamp set for some reason. Oh, here it is. Okay, so you can see I used the stamp to do the dies. It does have flowers, and I did use the sentiment. So it's always nice to have the bundle, but I just wanted to show you as an example. Maybe there's other dies that you wanted to do this with. And then I used the iridescent pastel gems. I used the clear ones, but they kind of pick up whatever they're on. So this one has a bit more of a green. This one looks more orangey, pinky. It's kind of cool. They take on whatever they're close to. So those are the techniques I have for you today. Hopefully you have learned something new, a new way to use your embossing folders, and you can go and have fun with whatever embossing folders you have. So here's our wow card. Actually, to me, they're all wow cards. They're all fun. But you can get great looks with just the embossing folders and adding a sentiment and a little piece of whatever. So those are the cards I have for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we will see you next week. Bye.